I want to be fluent in English, of course, but not just that. I want to sound like a native, but at the same time, I was too afraid to make mistakes, which is not ideal for a language learner. But I'm quite happy with how my English turned out, so... Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Oh my god, it's been so long. I was just so busy with work, I'm so sorry. Now I'm back on YouTube, so... if you're new here and you haven't seen me before, hello again. I'm Yusang, that's my Korean name. And my English name is Erin. You can call me either one, it doesn't really matter. And today I brought another video about how I pick up this British accent and how I taught myself English, that kind of thing. Since I uploaded that post, that reels on Instagram, when I was doing recording thingy for my book.
I'm impressed that you've got the British accent after 2 years in the UK.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, you must have studied hard to
I did actually. Since then I got so many inquiries about my pronunciation again, so I think it's about time to do another video, updated version of tips for learning English, so here we are. So yeah, let's just get straight into it then, shall we? So people ask me, where's my accent from? And the answer to this question is Korea. Because I taught myself English in Korea, that's how I started. I didn't study abroad. I actually worked in the UK for 2 years, but that was after I picked up this British accent, so I can say Korea, can't I? To give you more background, I think it all began when I was in secondary school. All the films, music that I happened to fall in love with, they're all from Britain. So I was like, what is this country? I just got intrigued in the country itself and the people there and their accent as well. Thinking of the point when I decided to learn British English, like how to speak in English, when I was a uni student, I was working at a gourmet burger restaurant in Itaewon, and that restaurant was full of customers who cannot speak Korean. That means I had to be able to converse with them in English, to just get orders from them. So yeah, that's the point when I actually started to pick up those expressions and work on my accent. So that Itaewon restaurant was a trigger, I think, but I got more reasons for learning English. I eventually wanted to go and try living in England and working with British people, which I did. Yeah, if you love something so much, you just want to become a part of it. That's what it was like. So my goal was quite clear at that time. I want to be fluent in English, of course, but not just that. I want to sound like a native, using the real expressions they actually used. That was my obsession. There's pros and cons, I think. It can be a really good motivation for sticking with correct grammar and stuff. But at the same time, I was too afraid to make mistakes, which is not ideal for a language learner. But I'm quite happy with how my English turned out, so maybe you guys wanted to hear this part most. I got my iPad here, in case I forget something. I just want to make things clear a bit. Like, everyone's got their own unique learning styles. And there's no such thing like right and wrong ways. But I believe there might be the most effective, suitable way for a learner. And this is how I taught myself. So it may not be for you, but you can just adjust it to your learning style, learning habit, learning whatever. If you know what I mean. Of course you do. So I made up 5 stages for you to remember easily. Stage 1, find your pronunciation role model or role models, because it doesn't have to be one person. Just go and look for someone who's got your favorite accent. Can be an actor or musician or YouTuber. Doesn't really matter as long as you can watch their contents, videos countless times and practice. If you have favorite films and the characters in there, that's wonderful. You can just pick that one. Or if it's a musician, I wouldn't really recommend you to utilize lyrics, as the grammar can be quite different and you're barely able to hear the real intonation from music. So I would rather stick with their interviews or talk shows. Yeah, that'll be much better. As for me, I started with Emma Watson. Yeah, I know, quintessential British accent, like Queen's English. She's quite posh actually. And then Emilia Clarke, I love her accent as well. Margot Robbie. And who else was there? Renee Zellweger. Did I pronounce it right? I don't know. As you might be able to tell, it doesn't have to do with their nationalities. Margot Robbie is actually from Australia. And Renee Zellweger, who played Bridget in Bridget Jones's Diary, she nailed British accent there. But she's actually from America. It doesn't really matter where they come from. And if you just listen to what they're saying, and you're happy with their accent pronunciation and you want to speak like them, I think that's more than enough. At the end of the day, you'll get a mixture of all those pronunciations and you'll have your own unique English accent. So yeah. And stage 2, enjoy the contents. This is very important because you're about to repeat them countless times. Without any pressure, just enjoy the videos in front of you. And you have to fully understand what they're on about, what they're talking about, before you move on to the next stage. And stage 3, repeat and archive the expressions. As I said, we are going to watch the same videos over and over again. I saw some people who found it really hard to do this part, but I was the person who can watch the same film like more than 30 times if I just fall in love with it. So yeah, I was totally fine with it, but I hope you're the same, or maybe get used to it eventually, because repetition is really, really important. And now you'll try to pick up some expressions that you would like to use in real conversation. For example, the one just popped into my head is, it would be great to hang out sometime. Yeah, it's actually Margot Robbie's line from About Time.
We're about to go get dinner, but it'd be great to hang out sometime.
It's really short, simple, and useful as well. I used it to my friends so many times. If you just come across your old friend in a totally unexpected place, and you can say, oh my God, it's good to see you. How are you doing? Yeah, it would be great to hang out sometime. Yeah, that sort of expressions you'll have to archive. You can just write it all down in a notebook, or you can just type it on a laptop. Whilst doing this process, you have to repeat after them, not just repeat after the sound, but you're basically gonna copy, like mimic everything from the accents, intonations, even facial expressions, as if you just become that person. It's important to have your mouth get used to speaking English. Do you know what I mean? So I found out that the shape of the mouth and the muscles around it, they're all different depending on which language you use. 이렇게 한국말로 할 때랑 이렇게 쓰는 근육들이 약간 다른 느낌이에요. 그래서 이게 익숙해져야 돼요. 입이 움직이는 그런 움직임들에. Very different, isn't it? And even the tone is different. And one more thing, the more you feel comfortable with yourself speaking English, the less you freeze when speaking English with others. That's so true. It's from my own experiences. So yeah, believe me, it's worth it. So yeah, archive your own handy expressions with mimicking practices. That was number 3 or 4. Oh, that is actually number 3 and 4. I should have broken it down, but I mean, they're basically the same process. So I'll just put them together. 3 and 4. Repeat and archive the expressions. And the last stage, finally, here we are. Digest those expressions. What I mean by digest is making them yours by applying it to the real conversation. This way, you can turn them into a long-term memory, make them all yours eventually. You can just take them out whenever you want, as if they're your own sentences. And after this, maybe we can jump into the next step, creating your own sentences but let's not get into that today. I think this video is going to be way too long, so I'll just cut it here today. But there's so much more I want to talk about. If you guys have some other more tips for learning English, please just leave a comment down below so that everyone can see. Hope you guys find this video useful, and thank you so much for watching today. I'll see you guys in my next video.